Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife. We have not done a Q&A video in quite a while.
All right.
These are always fun. It's where basically I go on Instagram, I post on our story and say, hey, what do you guys want to know? And you guys...
Ask us some questions.
And you did. You asked us over 50 questions. Now there's no way that we could possibly answer all of them.
Right.
So we kind of went through and sort of grouped a bunch of them together. There were a lot of similar questions.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to go through and answer a whole bunch of your questions that you guys asked over on Instagram.
Yep. These questions cover a whole lot of different categories. We've got jobs and travel and health and house and just life in general.
So normally you would save the most asked question for the end. However, we're going to start with this one because far and away there was one thing you guys asked more than anything else. Sherri, how the heck is your new job going?
Yeah.
So Sherri, how the heck is your new job going?
It's going really, really good.
Yeah?
I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified for this job. It kind of fits all of like the way that my brain works really well. I love everybody that I work with and for. I am thoroughly enjoying my job.
Exceeding expectations?
Yes. I mean, it's always, you know, a little nerve-wracking, like starting a new job, especially in a different industry than what I've been in. But I feel like I'm fitting in well, and I feel like I'm doing a good job.
Yeah. And I know we talked about this on the video where we kind of announced you had a new job, but your change in demeanor as far as like just enjoying work has not gone away. It has completely continued.
Yeah.
I love that. And you've been able to still travel a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You've also kind of figured out as far as like what remote work looks like traveling while
working remotely. Yep. Just kind of figuring out my job because here in town it is actually hybrid. So I do actually spend some of the week in an office and then the rest of the week in my office here at home. And so just sort of figuring out how to do my job fully remote when I'm not here in the office is, or there in the office, I guess, is challenging, but I've been able to kind of figure it out so far. So it's been, and my boss has been really gracious in allowing me to do that. So
one of the things I want us to do, and we've kind of talked about this, I want us to do an office makeover vlog. Because you have an amazing office downtown.
I have a really great office, yeah.
However, it's just not very you.
It's a little boring. Yep, I did put up some pictures, but I don't know if I love them. And so, I mean, I love the pictures, but I don't know if I love them in that space. So, yeah, we've had discussions about how I can fix it up.
What do you guys think? An office makeover of Sherri's office? Let us know. Okay, we're moving on. So, new job. 2 thumbs up. Multiple, as many thumbs as you have up.
Yes.
Excellent. Question number 2, would you get a dog? Because, and I assume the question is mostly asked to me, because you guys know my love. I've never seen a dog that I don't instantly want to just lay on the ground and just pet and spend time with.
Correct. We're like driving down and you're like, hi, I love you.
Hi, dog, I love you. I do, I love every dog. But here's the thing. Us not having a dog is actually, it really is a mutual decision.
Yes.
Because I would love to have a dog. I would love, love, love to have a dog. But here's the thing. My love for travel is actually more than my love to have a dog.
Dogs are a lot. And the thing is, with Missy, we can leave for 3 or 4 days and she's fine. If we leave for longer than that, we will usually have somebody come in and check on her. You know, fill up her food and her water and scoop out her litter box, but like she's really low maintenance. You can't do that with dogs. You have to either have somebody come and stay at the house or board them somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is expensive, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, so it's like for us, with the kind of life that we want to live right now, it doesn't feel like a dog fits into that.
Right.
And so maybe someday we will get a dog. But for now, I just feel like the kind of life that we want to have, a dog doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Question number 3, any home updates planned?
Oh, I always have things I want to do to our home.
Yeah, I will say we don't have any, like,
Solid.
Like, oh, next thing we're doing is this.
Right. I always have ideas of things I want to do or change or update.
Some of you might not know this. Sherri actually went to school for interior design.
I did.
And so your mind is always working on changing spaces.
Yes. How can we make it more efficient? How can we just change the color just for the sake of changing the color? That kind of stuff, change it around. Yeah, I'm always, every space, thinking about what to do different.
I think some of the next changes that we've both talked about and agree, we want to change out all of our interior doors.
Yep.
So that's definitely next on the list, all of the interior doors. And then there are just a few others. The countertops in our kitchen we want to change out.
Yep, and honestly, so a lot of these, so we've been in our house for 15 years, and they were all on the table of things that we wanted to change when we moved in.
Yep.
We just haven't done it. So yeah, they're kind of always there, but I feel like the longer we're in the house, the higher those go up on the priority list.
Someone else asked about if we would ever like sell our place and move into a bigger house. And it's really funny because our conversation is actually the exact opposite.
If we sold it, we'd move smaller, honestly.
Our place isn't big. It's like an 1,100 square foot townhome.
Right.
We bought
it's just us and Missy, and honestly, we don't need this much space. We don't need this much stuff, because if we have the space, we fill it with stuff.
And our goal really is like no mortgage. That's kind of, again, going back to kind of life that we want to live, the less amount of debt and mortgage and stuff possible lets life cost lets you live a bigger travel life. Exactly.
Yep.
So if we were to get rid of this place, we actually would go smaller. That's our value, right? Yeah. Okay, next question. We're gonna get into some travel stuff. I didn't group these all together, so we're gonna like jump around. The question was, now that you've gone to Fiji, any other bucket list vacations that you want to go on?
I mean, we've discussed I would go back to Fiji tomorrow.
Sure.
Oh man, other bucket lists. I think like we want to do like Europe. We want to do the UK. Yeah.
So it's a hard question. And the reason it's a hard question is that I don't necessarily think there are many places in the world we don't want to go.
Correct.
And in some ways, if you guys will remember, Fiji was not on our list. Like 10 years ago, if we'd made a bucket list of travel places, Fiji wouldn't have been on it. Fiji ended up happening because of the most insane mileage sale.
Right. Yeah.
We used air miles to get to Fiji. In fact, we used less air miles to get to Fiji than we have used to get to Orlando.
Correct.
It was the kind of sale you just don't pass up.
Right.
And so in some ways, like thinking about big trips for us in the future, I do think that largely that will probably be what we do.
It will kind of just depend on what kind of deals we can get, and just be like, okay, well, this is where we're going next.
If we found a mileage plan deal to Australia or New Zealand or Asia or Europe, we would jump on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And those are places we'd love to go, but I do think largely our travel will depend on these amazing deals we find, because it lets us travel more.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's anywhere, like you said, I don't think there's anywhere that if there was a deal going there, they would just be like, nah, we don't want to do there. We want to go all of the places.
That's the thing, is like, there's no place in the world that I wouldn't want to go.
There's a big wide world out there, and we want to see all of it.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a hard question.
Yeah.
Next question. Lots of you guys asked this. How is mom?
Let's talk about mom.
Let's talk about mom. You guys know we just got back from a trip to Colorado. I'll be very open and honest in this answer. 2 months ago, when I went to Colorado, I told you this, that things really were bad. In fact, we went down to Colorado this month to celebrate my mom's 75th birthday, and even she admitted that 2 months ago she didn't know or didn't think she would make it to 75.
Right.
And neither did we.
Right.
Just being totally honest. Like, when I was there a couple of months ago and I saw how she was, her 75th birthday did not seem like a realistic thing that we'd experience.
Right.
She started chemo, and some crazy things are happening. 2 months ago, it was really, really bad. Last month when I went down there, she was a little bit better. This month when we went down there, she was better still. Improvement is being made. Now, here's the thing. We don't know what that means.
Right.
We don't have word from the doctor that the chemo is working. It does seem like it is. Mom is feeling better in a lot of ways, but we're trying to be optimistic and hopeful, but also realistic. And as far as like the realistic part, that's why I've been going down there so much. That's why we went down there, is we just want to be as intentional with our time with her while we have it as we can.
Right.
The hope is that the chemo is working great, and that's why she's feeling better, and the tumors are shrinking and it's going away, and we'll know that before too long, but we just don't know.
We just don't know, but she is sounding and looking and moving so much better.
Yeah. Like, we got off the phone with her earlier today.
Even just today, we're just like, man, she sounds good.
So, good things are happening. 2 months ago, I did not believe that my mom would be doing as well today as she is.
Yeah.
I didn't know my mom would be here.
Right.
So, how is mom? Considering all of this, I think fairly well.
Doing pretty good.
Her spirits are through the roof good.
Right.
She is like in the best mood. She is just so happy. It's just also who she is.
Who she is as a person, yep.
So there's the mom update. Thanks for asking. And also I do want to thank you. So many of you guys sent cards. When we were in Colorado, we sat down with her one afternoon and just went through every one of the cards and presents that you guys sent.
Yeah.
And in my mom's fashion, it was just, she was like, who is that? Where are they from? Who is this? Where are they from? It's like she wanted to know as much about you guys as we had or as possible.
Yep. And she enjoyed every word of everything. We read it all to her.
Oh my gosh, it was just, it was such a sweet thing. And it was really cute because then, like, her friends would come by, her friends would call. She would be like, you won't even believe it. She was like, I got this stack of cards from people on the internet. And she was just like, it made her smile. And that means the world to me that you guys did that. So thank you. Okay, moving on. We've actually gotten this question a lot since we announced that you're now working for Princess. The question is, are you guys still going to cruise with Disney? Like, if so, do you have any Disney cruises planned? I feel like we addressed this in your Princess video, but maybe we didn't.
Yeah, Disney is not completely off the table. We don't have any planned right now. It's harder to justify the Disney costs, especially with my discount. So
that's just the truth.
It was hard to justify the Disney cost without the discount, and now with it.
Yeah.
So no, Disney's not completely off the table. It doesn't mean we won't ever cruise them again. We just don't have any plans to at this moment.
Yeah, nothing's booked. 100% want to.
Right. Yep.
But we have no clue when, and exactly what Sherri said, that's just the reality. Dollars and cents, if you guys know this, Disney's expensive. And it's like before, it's like, okay, well, you know, you could cruise Disney once compared to multiple trips. Well, now it's Disney once for multiple really
trips. A lot of trips, and so it is harder to justify the cost of Disney.
There's just the reality.
Yep.
Are you planning any trips that are not to visit friends or family or to cruise? Trips like Fiji. So the question is kind of, you know, we've been traveling a lot, doing cruise stuff, traveling a lot just to see friends and family. Any other just purely vacation trips?
Nothing actually planned right now.
No, we actually hit pause on a lot of our travel this year. Because with Mom's situation, we didn't know realistically how often we would need to be in Colorado.
If we needed to kind of pick up and go right now.
There are certain things that happen in life that cause you to hit pause on everything else because there's a window of intentionality with family or friends. And this is one of those, right? And that's just the reality. England and Europe will always be there. My mom may not.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. And so we had trips planned this year that we have hit pause on and we will revisit at some point later in the future. This is a season for us to be intentional about time with Mom.
Yep.
That's just kind of the reality.
Yep.
The other thing, you guys, I'm going to be honest, we've done a lot of travel in our life. We've been very fortunate to do that. One of the things that we are really learning, I wouldn't say learning, but like really loving in this season is traveling with people or to see people. Yeah. It sounds so cliche, but like the older you get, the more you just want to be with people that you love. Yeah. You know? And so it's like, it sounds crazy, but going on a big international trip, doesn't necessarily sound better than just going to Boise, Idaho and hanging out with the Zachmans.
Right.
You know, like,
Yep.
I know it sounds crazy, but maybe we're just old. But there really is something
Sentimental
about...
in our old age.
Yeah, maybe we are getting sentimental in our old age, but there just is something about proximity to people that you love. We don't have anything planned. Of course, we'll do more vacations with just the two of us.
But the travel we do have planned is around family.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Ooh, I love this question. How is Adam's reading goal? Okay, I think you're gonna be proud of me.
Yeah. I'm always proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. You're so sweet to me. So, Sherri's the reader of the family. We've talked about it forever. I have very much struggled, but this year I set a reading goal of 10 books. So my reading goal is 10 books this year. That is far more than I've read last year, the year before, the year before.
We are almost halfway through the year. How are you doing?
We are almost halfway through the year. We probably are about halfway through the year. And I have finished 6 books. And I have 2 books that I'm very close to finishing.
Look at you!
I know.
You might surpass your goal.
I believe I will. I believe I will. And more than...
proud of you.
Thank you. More than that, I'm actually really enjoying reading.
Yeah.
I have read some great books this year. And I'm discovering other books that I'm just really enjoying. So my hope, I don't think... By the end of June, I think I can have finished 7 books. By the end of July, certainly 8 or 9 books. And so, yeah, I will blow past my reading goal.
I'm very proud of you.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
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 They didn't ask this, but I'm going to ask this. Your reading goal, where are you at?
My reading goal was 100 books.
Okay.
I have completed 62.
Sherri's slightly ahead of me. A couple people asked this. If you were to move from Alaska, and I know some of these questions we've answered in videos before, things change, so we just thought we'd ask some of them, or answer some of these. If you were to move from Alaska, where would you go?
The answer has changed from what it used to be. We used to say if we were going to leave, we'd probably go to like Pacific Northwest.
Well, not even just Pacific Northwest, but primarily Seattle or Portland.
Yeah.
And now we don't have a lot of desire to be in either of those cities.
Or the monies.
Or the money. For multiple reasons.
Right.
And so our answer has changed.
Yeah.
I will say we've been talking more and more about this. And the list of it sounds horrible. The list of places we don't want to be is much longer.
Yeah.
However, one of the things that we do believe is that we are the kind of people who our happiness isn't dependent on like where we are.
Right.
And I really do believe we could pick up our stuff right now, pack it up, and move to anywhere and be happy. Just kind of because that's sort of our nature.
That's our nature, and I think, like, this is going to sound corny, but, like, as long as we're together, I think that we would be happy anywhere. We can make anywhere work.
Yeah, I agree.
But there is a list of places we either for sure can't afford to live or just don't want to live.
And there are some things that I would say that where we would move today is much more adventurous and different and even like out of the box of what people would think about us than 10 years ago.
I agree with that.
10 years ago it was like, oh yeah, Seattle, Portland, Pacific Northwest, things that felt very familiar. There are places on the list today that I think would surprise people.
I think so, yeah.
So there we go. Totally a non-answer, but it's okay. Ooh, I like this one. Favorite tip about Alaska Airlines? I got a good one. So, so I fly Alaska almost exclusively. Fly them a lot. Flew about 75,000 air miles with them last year. Fly them a lot. They are definitely our preferred airline.
Yes.
I have lots of tips for them, but my favorite tip by far is the Bank of America Alaska Airlines credit card. And it's my favorite tip for a couple of reasons. Number one, well, really one main reason. Every year you get a companion fare. And a companion fare is when you buy one ticket, you get the second ticket for taxes and fees.
Right.
So what we do is we each have an Alaska Airlines credit card, so we get 2 companion fares a year. And we use those on what would be high dollar trips.
Right, so then you're really only paying for one ticket.
So tickets to Orlando, they can be very expensive to fly across the country, that kind of stuff. So essentially every year you sort of get, it's not really buy one, get one free, because the second ticket with taxes and fees is like $100, $120.
Right.
Still much cheaper
Yep.
than most airline tickets.
Yep.
So I would say if you are, and also when you live in Alaska, you kind of live on Alaska Airlines miles.
Yeah.
And so we put as much as we can on that card, pay that off every month, and just absolutely load up on airline miles.
I was gonna say we don't like credit cards.
Nope.
We don't like credit card debt, and so what we do is really have all of our monthly subscriptions and whatever on that card, and then we just pay it off every month because we don't want the debt.
Yeah. So maybe
we do put everything on that card, so we get miles for everything.
So the companion fare. I would say if you travel Alaska Airlines with any regularity, that is one of the better perks of most credit cards. So that's my Alaska Airlines tip. Will we ever see a Disney Parks vlog again? Someone asked.
Probably.
I'm sure you will.
I'm sure. I mean,
when?
I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know. Because again, it's hard to justify the cost for what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
But we will be back. I mean, we are for sure going to go back to a Disney park, but we don't know when.
Have no idea when. I genuinely couldn't even guess. Probably not 2023, the rest of this year.
No, probably not.
We have no plans for 2024. My guess is that if we found ourselves in California, maybe. The problem is that, like, in Florida, we have so many other people that we want to see and things that we want to do that, like, going to Orlando, going to Disney World is so far down the list.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, you guys. I don't know.
I don't know.
Kind of tied to that, we did have a few questions from Jordy and Janice, who basically both said the same thing. When the heck you come to California? I don't know, you guys. I think California, where I would like to go, primarily is the Bay Area, because I do want to go to the Disney Family Museum.
Yeah.
I think that sounds amazing.
Yep.
We've also never done the Redwoods. We've never done Wine Country.
Right.
That is very much on our list of things we want to do.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
I know we want to, but again, kind of everything that's frivolous travel, I guess, has been put on the back burner for the time being.
Yep.
So,
with the exception of the possibility of one trip that may happen in the next month or two, that's still kind of being potentially worked out.
Correct.
Also, it's a trip that may not include both of us.
Correct.
We'll tell you more later about that. Okay, where are we at? Ooh, somebody asked. She said, I'm moving to Indiana. She's actually moving to northern Indiana.
I would like to know where in northern Indiana.
And she asked you, she said, Sherri, what was your favorite thing about living in Indiana? And you said the pork tenderloin sandwiches.
Oh, well, I mean,
They are really good.
You're not wrong.
Find a Hoosier tenderloin sandwich and eat that.
Yes, correct. But my favorite part, probably fall. So fall is my favorite season anyway. It's when my birthday is. But Indiana in the fall is really very pretty before harvest, when everything is grown and like right before harvest. And so like all the corn is grown and the soybeans and the onions and everything is like, it's very pretty, like just miles and miles and miles of fields of all these veggies that are just ready to be harvested. I think it's very pretty.
There you go. Good answer.
Yeah.
Next question. Does Adam do YouTube full time or does he have another job? YouTube is a hobby. I mean, that's the reality. Like, you guys, like, this is a hobby for us. In fact, it's really funny because people, there's people always ask when they meet you, oh, what do you do for work? And that's such a hard question for me. So my background, I spent over a decade in hotel, motel, like management, hospitality management, marketing. Spent a long time doing that stuff. Now I do have kind of a few jobs. I am the kind of person who struggles with doing one thing.
Yep, you're not really like a sit down 9 to 5 kind of person.
I'm not. So my primary job, I'm actually the executive director of a nonprofit here in Alaska, a nonprofit that walks with survivors of human trafficking, a nonprofit that walks with youth who are at risk. So maybe they're aging out of foster care, maybe they're experiencing homelessness. And then we also do a lot of trainings around the state, even around the country. And so that's what I do. And it's a growing organization. We received a national award from the FBI for our work with trafficking survivors. And really the goal of that organization is to engage, equip, and mobilize the community to serve those that society has marginalized. So any marginalized person in our community, in our state, how in the world do we help people walk with them in really healthy ways? That's the focus of the nonprofit. We have an unbelievable staff. And so I am kind of the organizational lead of that as the executive director. So that's my big boy job. I left the job I was in to help start and lead this organization from the very beginning. And I have loved my time there. It has been so meaningful when you see trafficking survivors start to rebuild their lives, get their kids back, graduate college, buy homes, go on just to learn what it means to be a healthy, independent person. Like, it absolutely makes everything worth it. So that's kind of my main job. One of the problems with that is that's a really, really heavy job.
Yeah.
And so I also need a creative space. And for more than a decade now, we've had a business that we started that is a media and marketing company. And we've worked with big brands from Nike and Starbucks. I've been very fortunate to have some unbelievable clients where I get to do lots of digital marketing, lots of digital media, a lot of digital strategy. I've gotten to work for music festivals and just lots and lots of things. And what that does is that gives me a creative outlet that I get to focus on even on really hard days.
Yep.
The other thing I love about that is that fortunately that business has gotten to the point where I get to pick and choose who I work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so you get to really pick the clients that you really want to work with.
Yeah. And that I believe it. I believe in what they're doing.
Yep.
Like, I don't have to just take any client. I can kind of choose who I want, which is what a freaking gift.
Yeah.
And so those are my jobs. YouTube is funny because we get this question a lot. Like, you guys must do YouTube full time. YouTube is like when you look at like our taxes, which are ridiculous, by the way, because of all the income.
Multiple streams.
YouTube is like the tiniest thing. It really is more of just a creative outlet.
Yeah, I mean, it does bring in revenue, but it's certainly not enough to live on.
No, not at all.
So.
And yeah, it's a creative outlet when it's needed, which I kind of love that.
Yeah.
All right, so now a question that is sort of similar in the same area.
Yeah.
They said, hey, what is the future of beard oil and of Sherri's Etsy shop? So you remember during the pandemic, I started Cash Creek Beard Oil, and it's kind of been radio silence on that for a little while, as well as the Etsy shop.
Yes, correct.
I feel like beard oil is an easier answer.
Yep.
It's actually been growing quite a bit, but it's not growing. It's growing through like wholesale. We're getting more people who want to carry it in their stores and gift shops around the state, which is crazy. In fact, we have some cool things that we'll talk about before too long, I think. In fact, what's insane is that the wholesale side of it has been growing to the point that I just can't keep it in stock on my own site.
Right.
So like, it's out there. People are still buying it in stores. However, I just don't have it on my site because I'm sending out wholesale orders.
And you have 3 other jobs.
And I have 3 other jobs. That's the thing.
There's that too.
There's that too. So beard oil is still going. Actually, some exciting things happening with that before too long that I think you guys will like. Sherri Beth.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Etsy.
Yes, let's.
What the heck?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I do know that Disney has been cracking down real hard on Etsy shops that are selling Disney-esque items. And so if I open it back up, it will probably not be Disney-esque items.
Yep.
Just because I wouldn't want my entire shop to be shut down, which is what's been happening. So, yeah, I don't know. And honestly, like, I just don't have the time or the drive to keep it open right now. So, I don't know. I do still have some things that just haven't sold. And so I've been considering doing some kind of launch of like, here's what I have available, and just sell what I can. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about making more right now, where we're at in our life.
Yeah, for over a year now, we've struggled with Sherri's Etsy shop because we loved what it was and how how great it was in that season of life. However, we really love the idea of being able to have designs that are ours rather than just like generic Disney stuff.
Right.
You guys know what I mean when I say that, right? And so like we love the idea of coming up with stuff that is uniquely Sherri, that is uniquely us.
Right.
The problem is that takes so much more time.
Yeah.
And we just, with life right now, don't have that. And so rather than just like keep doing what we were doing, which obviously was working and great, because
right. And I mean, you know, my ears and stuff were my designs, but they were based on Disney things.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know, like coming up with something completely from scratch is harder, I think. And I just don't have the time to come up with that kind of stuff and then like create it.
So who knows? It's not a priority in this season of life for us.
Yeah.
Will we get back to there? Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
The next question was probably my favorite question in the entire thing. It's from our friend Laura. If you watched our Alaska cruise vlog series, you know the thing we did is we had duck fart shots every single day.
Yes.
Duck fart is a drink. It's a shot that was invented here in Alaska. It's layered. Essentially, it's whiskey, normally a Crown Royal, and then Irish cream and Kahlua. It was kind of how it would be layered. And Laura asked, if a duck farts, how many duck farts will it take to forget that a duck farted?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. If you have the drinks package on Princess, you can get up to 15 duck farts a day.
Correct.
My guess is if you had 15 duck farts a day, you're not going to remember much of anything.
Especially whether a duck farted. Correct.
There you go. And now the last question. And I just love this question. This question was just, I don't know why. I just loved it. And the question was just simply, how are y'all doing?
How are y'all doing?
How are y'all doing? Okay.
Okay.
I could say we're doing really good. We're doing fine. We're doing great.
That's a lie.
Just wouldn't be honest.
Right.
We're okay. There
are pieces of our life that are going really well.
Yes.
There are pieces that are not going well.
Yeah. It has been.
Fall somewhere in the middle.
It has been a hard season with many more downs and many more hard things than ups lately, and that's been hard to navigate. But we are committed to getting through this season.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's just been hard. And it's hard because, like, there's no training for this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there was no class in high school or college, or there's no seminar that I ever went to that talked about how in the world do you navigate when a parent gets, like, that diagnosis. Or how in the world do you navigate life when, like, closest friends get divorced, or when, like, you know what I mean, death happens, or lose a job, or suicide, or, like, all of these things that are just happening, they're not things that really you're prepared for.
Right.
And so, we're okay. It's one of the reasons we've been taking more time off lately, is that we're just really committed to making sure that we're okay.
Yes, and if our mental or physical health means that we don't have a video, that means we don't have a video.
Well, and even, like, the last couple of days was a good example of that. You know, we filmed one video in Pueblo when we were down there.
We had plans for more.
Had plans for more videos, but then when we got down there, we were just so loving being with family and being together. And there were so many times that felt, this isn't the right word, but it felt like almost sacred. And it would have felt so weird to just be like, oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Let me get this for content.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it just...
Can you say that again?
Can you say that one more time? Hold on, I want to capture that.
Right.
Like, that's just... That was just so... would have been so inappropriate.
Yeah.
And so, this is a season for us, and I think we've said this recently, where, like, our value is going to be presence, like, with people, probably rather than, like, documenting a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And so, how are you? Or how are y'all doing? We're okay.
We're okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna make it through.
Yep. We have made it through 100% of the bad days that we've had.
Correct.
So we have a good track record.
We do. It's gonna be okay, but
Yep.
it's hard right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's life. So there you guys go. Again, you asked us so many more questions that we weren't able to get to, didn't get to.
Yeah.
I do love these videos because sometimes we just kind of share life as it comes at us, and I forget. I was like, I wonder what you guys want to see. I wonder what you're thinking on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
So every now and then I just like asking, hey, what do you want to know?
Yep.
And this time it was mostly Sherri's job, mom, travel. That, like,
Yep.
probably 2/3 of the questions fit in one of those buckets.
Yep. So I hope that we answered those at least.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Friends, we love you guys so much. We will see you on the next LeggLife video.